Can a Silicon Valley bank-like collapse also happen in India? Reserve Bank of India's Financial Stability Report, released barely 3 months ago, gives an insight into this very possibility. Joining us now on this show is Anand Adhikari, who is the managing editor of Business Today magazine. Anand, thank you very much for your inputs here. But Anand, what's the real possibility of something like a collapse that happened in at the Silicon Valley Bank itself happening here in India?
Very rare. The entire crisis at SBB started with the losses in its investment book. Because there's a pressure on this mark-to-mark losses because of a 450 basis point hike. The Fed rate. Now, if you look at India, the rate hike is like 250 basis point since May last year, which is little over half than what the US did. Second, if you look at the Indian banks, portfolio, they are majorly into credit, not that much into, investment. And that saves them because they earn a lot of interest and the non-interest income, which, in many times also offset the losses if they make any on the, treasury side. Now, even if one look at the GSEC portfolio, there we have, held to maturity, we have held for trading, and we also have, held for sale. Now, most of the portfolio of Indian bank is, locked in held to maturity, where there is no requirement of, mark-to-mark losses. And finally, even RBI, in 2008, they came out with a, counter-cyclical macro-prudential measure where, they asked bank to create an investment fluctuation reserve fund, where when the interest rate go down, whatever profits they make, in the investment portfolio, they have to, keep as a provision. So, if you look at all these 4-5, factors, we are in a much better position,
right.
I would say.
But what makes you really say sternly that Indian banks are better placed than their US counterparts?
Now, in case of, SVB, if you look at, there's a high concentration, in terms of, investment in one single sector that was a startup. Now, if you look at the Indian bank, the business model of Indian bank, they are much diversified. They are into corporate, they are into retail, they are into MSME, and even the corporate portfolio, if one look at, they have even loaned to, very high rated, corporates in India, and they are present in all from manufacturing to, services sector. So if you look at the business model, they are well diversified, here in India. Second, if I look at the balance sheet, strength, there are gross NPAs are like, 7-year low, at 4%. If you look at the net NPAs, they're 10-year low. If you look at the NPA provisioning, coverage, this, PCR, is over 70%, which is well over, the RBI's minimum, threshold. Even the net profits, the kind of net profits we have seen, I think, 1.8 lakh crore in 21-22. And I was looking at, the first half figure of 22-23, profits are already, 40% up. So in terms of the business model, in terms of the balance sheet strength, I think they are, Indian banks are well placed.
Right. Now, how have rising interest rates affected the health of Indian banks, though?
See, again, broadly, if you see the corporate book and the, the retail book, on the corporate side, we have not seen much lending, because the capacity utilization is, very low. So not much lending has happened there. So I don't think, the corporates, we have seen any, deceleration there. But on the retail side, retail is one segment that has been, growing in the last 4-5 years. And we will see some impact there on the retail side because banks have been growing, the unsecured loan or the MSME. And that's where we could see some stress, going forward because of, rise in the rates. And even the transmission part, if you see, we have not seen the full impact of interest rate transmission, to the final borrower. And that will happen in the next, let's say, 3 to 4 quarters. And if I compare, Indian banks with the SVB, we only have, one small category, which is called, small finance bank. Their portfolio is slightly, concentrated in micro loans. So maybe we'll see some impact on the MSME side in the large bank, and also, in the small finance bank. Yes, we could see some stress, going forward.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.